My country people, shortly after Pastor Tunde Bakare don't come talk, now they concern this APC man, make he come talk back at Tunde Bakare. Say Tunde Bakare no be politician, he no get sense, he no know how to talk inside politics matter, no be area of expertise. Say na pastor in be, make he concentrate on the pastoral leadership. My people, hey, you know say this life, in person they talk true, people go follow you, they go backfire you. In fact, it no end there. For the next story, they come ask this man, say, okay, why Akpabio come they talk saying don't send prayer for their email? The man want talk, say which kind of hear prayer, which kind of hear talking, 2 million naira, that one are money, where they give person 2 million naira, that one are money, that one not be money now for one senator where get like 13 constituencies, then they want to give him 2 million naira to, what 2 million naira want do for him, and I don't say now normal money they all give them, my people, APC don't finish us, like play, oh, they can't refer the man back to what he talk many years ago. The man say ain't talking now, ain't talking, but nevertheless, this one a different government. Tinubu go work. Hey, my people, APC, government. This one not be government. I go let the video make it play, my people. This one a Bod TV, but we already analyze all the trends that they happen. Make you not forget to share this video. When I like, when I subscribe, when I do.
To get your view about the anger in the land about the state of the economy. The consequences and the pains left by the removal of fuel subsidy. Those who say, it's a good idea to remove subsidy. This debate has been on for several years, but perhaps it wasn't done the right way. That some people will argue. But how, as a leader of the APC, you guys, you and your friends and colleagues in the APC had promised Nigerians that it's going to be a renewed hope this time around after the last 8 years of President Buhari. But those of them who now buy a bag of rice in almost a double or triple price, they buy petrol in more than 4 times the price, they buy palm oil, red oil, and whatever kind of oil in more than 3 times. They travel out, within the country in higher rates of the airfare. What do you tell them that the renewed hope is not here yet? When will it come? Or what exactly will you be telling them tonight?
Yes, with respect, we must be very sincere with ourselves. When you want to carry a surgical operation, and any rebate always comes with pains. So we, as a party, sympathize with Nigerians who have to bear the pains of the need for us to recalibrate our economy. You will know that the subsidy regime has not only become a cesspool of corruption, but it has become a trap that if we don't remove it now, our country may go the way of Venezuela or the way of Argentina. And at the same time, the subsidy of the Naira, that absence of floating of the Naira has affected genuine investment into the country. So we believe that, yes, it's very challenging now. We cannot close our eyes to that reality. But in the long run, our economy will be better for it. And I must quickly comment on what, you played that you said Pastor Bakare said, although I don't see him as a politician, and with respect to him, I don't see him as even competent to say what he has said. The fact that we are talking of palliative does not mean that we are not confronting the headlong of correcting the dysfunction and the imbalances in the economy. So we are both addressing the issue of palliative as a immediate step and addressing the fundamental problem that is affecting access to necessary resources to carry out infrastructure, to galvanize our economy, and to turn our economic run in a way that will have economic prosperity for the Nigerian people. So we are not limiting our project to issue of palliative. So it's just being selective in what he has said. Then when he's also talking about, when he also talk about,
when you say Pastor Bakare does not have the competence, what do you mean? He's a citizen of the country.
I say competence in politics and what he's making comment about.
He's a citizen of the country.
He has idea. The fact that you have idea does not mean you have competence. He's entitled as a citizen. Like for instance now, I'm not an engineer. I don't have competence to make valid proposition in engineering field, even though I'm a citizen of Nigeria. So the fact that he's a Nigerian does not mean that he has competence in making criticism that he's making.
But the question is, there is enormous expectation. People are suffering, and I hope
we have a 4-year mandate, and so, by the grace of God,
Before the 4 years,
even before the next 1 year, people will start seeing the benefit of the fundamental adjustment that is being made in the economy of our country.
Senators, this National Assembly is operating as if they are running a circus, as if it's a wing of Baba Salah's comedic institution or an Alibaba extension. First, the Senate president came on one occasion. He said, "Oh, let the poor breathe." And many of us thought that the Senate president was mocking the suffering, long-suffering, oppressed, disoriented people of Nigeria. And then the same Senate president came later and said, "Oh, we have put some tokens in your account." There was a lot of murmuring from the back. And then he said, "Oh, we have put prayers. We have communicated prayers to you." Only to turn out that some senators collected 2 million naira. And Nigerians are saying, these people are sharing money when everybody is under stress. And then they've not spent up to 100 days. They are going on recess. And people are saying, these our senators are overpaid and underworked. Where are they going to? They are not coming back until September 26th. And they have collected our money. Token, call it prayers. You used to be one of them. Please, is this how you people were collecting tokens and prayers? It's a serious matter. It is a serious matter.
This is very interesting. Those people who are wanting the Senate to be taken to the cleaners or National Assembly, as a matter of fact, there are those persons with a fertile mind, a fertile mind of mischief. Because let's discuss this and let's be serious about it. Now, these gentlemen were inaugurated on the 13th of June, 13th of July, 13th of August, and going on a break, September, then returning back. For getting to 3 months, they have not received any salary, they have not received any allowance, they have not received any money of any sort. Now, civil servants, by the time they want to go on holiday or they want to go on break, or sometimes you hear a government at the sub-national or even at national saying that these categories of civil servants have now been paid, that these areas of this, that have been paid areas of that. Nobody's talking about it. 2 million naira to be given to a senator. For example, Olu Senatorial District has 13 local government. Eket Senatorial District, where I come from, 12 local government. For you to give a senator 2 million naira, that is not his salary, that is not anything, that is a token, as a matter of fact. To now take to go for a holiday in a 12 local government or a 13 local government, as the case may be. Ruben, you and I will agree that 2 million naira under this hunger and anger will not be able to sustain engagement with your constituents. You agree with me, no doubt about that. So there is no big deal in this issue of 2 million. It's only that the time is a time where majority of our population is going through hunger and anger. And so the issue of rationalization of the entitlement of these people, will you say if it is 2 million naira, assuming that it is a salary, granted that without conceding, are you saying that for the 4 months, it's going to be 500,000 naira allowances, salary, and everything? So I think this set of senators, for example, when House of Representatives went on break, this Senate decided to stay back for the screening. Sometimes they will end as early as 7 p.m. in the night. As early as that, 11 p.m. in the night. And they sit on non-legislative days like Friday, Saturday, and Monday. And I'm thinking such a sacrifice is supposed to be applauded. We're supposed to appreciate that. And beyond it, they were saying that this Senate is likely going to be a rubber stamp Senate under Senator Godswill Akpabio's leadership. But when 48 nominees were sent to the Senate for screening, if it were a rubber stamp, it would have been 48 in and 48 returns. But it wasn't so. They were properly screened, the backgrounds were checked, and all of that. And they declined approval, they declined to give approval to 3 of the nominees because of diligence, because of ethical integrity, because of the institutional values. They did that. And when you weigh that on what, in terms of productivity, what has this Senate actually done? That we are saying that they're not supposed to go on break and the money given to them were whatever it is. And at one moment, you've just mentioned here, let Nigerians breathe. What was the kernel of that motion? There was a proposal to the National Assembly, to the Senate particularly, where 40% electricity hike was proposed. And one of the senators got up to amend the motion that with increasing electricity tariff at this time is going to be putting a rope on the neck of an average Nigerian. And that to increase electricity tariff now would not augur well for Nigerians. So if the Senate must do any and everything possible to make sure that this does not happen. In the amendment to that prayer, another senator now said that there should be no increase, no matter the percentage. The National Electricity Regulatory Commission and the electricity companies attempted that. And he said Nigerians should be allowed to breathe. We would have just withdrawn fuel subsidy. And now increasing electricity tariff now is going to be tightening the noose of the average Nigerian. They should allow Nigerians to breathe. So I had expected that that intervention stopped the increase in the tariff. And that intervention was to promote the welfare of an average Nigerian. That intervention was intended to make the people feel that the senators are indeed representative of their people and they are not mercantilists. And that ought to have been appreciated. But those of us outside now decided to take the issue of the amendment of that prayer. The amendment of that prayer, His Excellency, the reputable Senate President, put that amendment of that prayer into vote. There is no way he can use his gavel, exercise his discretion. By parliamentary practice, he has to put that amendment into vote. And it was overwhelmingly voted for. And he now came up with those in support and those against. And those in support now won the day. Okay. So now, they now took that out of context. I don't think that was very fair to them. Okay, and Honorable Yibo. If you still give me the opportunity.
Honorable Yibo.
Sir, yes, sir.
I want to move on to another matter.
Very well, sir, I'm here.
Which is?
Please kindly do.
The list of ministers.
I believe you are satisfied with the previous. Yes, go ahead.
In 2022, you said that the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has been turned into a rehabilitation center for former governors. Many of them are still there. Very soon, when the work starts, half of them will be sleeping and snoring on the during plenary sessions. But look at the cabinet list. That cabinet list has 9 governors. Have they not also, this Tinubu administration, not turned the cabinet list into a rehabilitation center for former governors? Do you feel concerned that, in fact, what you complained about in 2022 is worse now? Because many of those governors, some of them have been governors for 8 years. So in a country of 200 million people, are they the only ones here? What do you think?
Well, I know, yes, in 2022, I remember I made a remark like that our electoral process has now began to promote institutional devaluation, where Senate, for example, will gradually become a rehabilitation center for former governors. Yes, I stand by that statement. I made that statement by that time. But now what you are saying is that, or what I am appreciating for what you are saying is that value is a function of cost vis-a-vis. If in the wisdom of Mr. President and the program and policies. He has a manifesto. He set out agenda. There was an agenda that he set out to implement when he becomes the president of the republic. And if within his contemplation and his judgment, he's able to pick either talent hunt or head hunt a certain class of person, regardless of age, who will be able to help him drive that agenda. So well and good. But I'm saying here is, and I consistently say it, within the context of a leadership recruitment culture, we should be able to recruit the right people into right places, regardless of age. And in recruiting the right people into right places as a culture of leadership recruitment, we must be conscious of what are the prescriptions, what do we intend, what kind of yield are we expecting from such persons. Like in the previous administration, the president of the republic was a very intentional man, and of course he still has sufficient integrity. But he recruited people into our national institutions, people who were not supervised, people who were not given templates, people who were made to see the appointments as a national souvenir. I am saying the present president, in appointing whoever is appointing into any office, he has an obligation, he has a responsibility to make sure that these people are not only monitored, there's prescription, performance evaluation must accompany the appointment, to the extent that the derivatives of democracy, which is all about growth, opportunities, and prosperity, is found in the engagement. Because our people can no longer go through all of this. If this is a renewed hope, a new Nigeria, and it is a path we are expecting to have a return on the investment of our core mandates on the people who are representing us both in executive and the legislature, we are also expecting to make sure that our lives will be better with sustainable development targets.
I get your point. The president, we all know that, has a prerogative to choose people, or fire them that can work with him based on his own projections. But this country belongs to all of us. We are all in it together. He can exercise his executive powers under the Constitution. But when you look at the list, do you think that this is an impressive list of 45 people? And why 45, 48? And who stands out for you in that list? Other than the people who have been rehabilitated, some of whom may even be given portfolios that they know nothing about. Who stands out for you on that list?
Well, I can tell you now, it's not a personality profiling we are undertaking, because they said the end justifies the means. You will, even if you go and bring the Pope from the Vatican, you will not be able to predict what is going to be the outcome of his leadership in a national responsibility. I am thinking that we should be patient so far to see what are the portfolios given out, what are the assignments given to them, what are the milestones. There must be prescriptions on what they're supposed to do in their respective appointments, and this should be evaluated. There should be evaluation and monitoring, and whoever is unfit for that position. Remember, in leadership recruitment culture or leadership recruitment process, if you take a very brilliant Dr. Ruben Abati, who is a lawyer and a very good television analyst, and you take him to go and become a a minister for health, he's a very qualified man to be a minister for health, but at the end of the day, the challenge of mobility, child mobility and mortality rate, which is prevalent, and public health challenge, he will not be able to understand it regardless of the very lengthy resume he's parading. And that is in default of leadership recruitment process. So we want to see a situation where the man who is going to serve in Ministry of Works will be able to stem the tide of corruption, to understand that in bill of engineering measurement, there are issues which are built into the quantities to be able to make most of our roads or most of our structures or most of those things, procurements we intend to do, to be in compliance, with good governance. If you go and bring somebody who is not well equipped in that respect, He will go and be carrying staff, covering cap to go through inspection of an engineering site. And meanwhile, the civil servants, the directors of work, the electrical directors, and the rest of them are experts. So he will be living at the mercy of those people. I am wanting to see a situation where we have a match of the expertise of the appointee, you know, with the challenge of our national aspirations and urges. That's what I want to see.
This is Bod TV Bod. In case the first time you come here, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more uploads.